Welcome to the OStudio podcast, where we delve into the art of feeling better. My name is Maddie Lovell, and OStudio is a recovery and wellbeing franchise that's here to help you relax, recover, and improve. Today on the OStudio podcast, we are chatting all about goal setting. The start of the year is a time of year that a lot of us use to start thinking about New Year's resolutions and goals for the year ahead. So we've decided to share our own goals, dissect our goals, what's helped us, and what may help you with yours. Let's jump in. Alrighty, well, it's kind of the new year. It's New Year when people are listening to this, but obviously we recorded this at the end of last year, and we sort of recorded a similar episode at the start of last year, which is just sort of around goal setting in the new year, right? And I think that, the idea of New Year's resolutions are always sort of around at this time of year. Did you guys have a New Year's resolution last year at all?
I was thinking I should probably have gone back and listened to our previous episode. Did you?
Yes, I did, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Mine was, and this sounds really weird actually, but it was to get better at giving and receiving compliments.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
It was because at the start of last year we were away with some friends from America, and it's just a different cultural thing. Like, if you say something to an American, maybe it's just my friends, the people, and if you say something to one of them, or maybe it's not just an American in general, but like they just be like, "Oh, thank you." Like if you made some sort of comment like, "Oh, you did a great job at that," or like, "Man, that colour suits you," or whatever it is, they're just like, "Thank you." Whereas you say like a Kiwi, like, "Oh, your hair looks great today," they're like, "Oh no, this is just like, whatever, I just rushed out this morning."
Yeah.
And so it's a weird New Year's resolution to have, but that was kind of mine last year.
I think it's a good one. And the other thing with that is I feel like we often, if we get a compliment, we then feel like we have to give one back to the other person.
Yeah. Oh,
but then
your
it's
hair
just
looks good too.
but it just doesn't feel as genuine. So that's one thing it sounds bad, but like I try not give a compliment back to the person if they give me a compliment, because it just, I mean, whenever someone does it to me, I'm like, you don't think that actually.
Yeah. You did, right. Did you guys have anything last year that you focused on at all?
No, I actually had a look. I was on the plane the other day, and I at the start of the year, I don't do resolutions, but I'll do like focuses, like things I want to do for the year. And I had a skim through them, and I think I had about 3% of them. Around sort of family and personal and business and stuff, and I had a bit of a look through them. And some of them were good, like some of them I definitely made some changes around, but yeah, I'm not that great, I guess, at bringing them back to life regularly. And I think something like consolidating down to one thing like that is like, giving and receiving compliments is probably quite a good thing. And then you're thinking about it through the course of the year. So I might try that this year of like, just what's my one thing that sort of sits outside of all my sort of goals and priorities that I can sort of, that I want in my life a little bit more, and how do I bring it to life? How do you bring it to life? How do you remember that it was your New Year's resolution? And
I just had one.
Yeah,
I think that's the way. Like, it's also if you've got any more than 3 priorities, you've got none. And so maybe that is it. It just stuck with me a little bit. Like I do write it down. Like I wrote down, goals as well last year, and I went through a bunch of them before this episode and looked at how I'd done on them, and some of them, like you forget that you really wanted that at the start of the year. Like I think that's kind of the power of sometimes goal setting, is that you actually. It's hedonic adaptation, I think, is the phenomenon. It's like where you get so used to what you have now, you forget that you once really craved it. And I think that's sometimes the power is actually looking back at some of the old things that you wanted or the goals that you set and recognizing that, oh my God, like I have everything that I wanted to do or done everything or, been wherever I wanted to go. And sometimes, it becomes a little bit, normal. And so I think, even just looking back this year, like the start of this year was to make sure that like our new baby was like, felt included in the family, and now like, the release of this is almost a year old.
But
it's like crazy. And you think like that was a goal of mine last year, was just to make sure, and now he's just all over the show.
Yeah, you hadn't even met him.
I know.
Why is it good to acknowledge that things are good or acknowledge that you're making progress? You know what I mean? Like, why is that an important thing to do? Because what you're saying there, I get it. It's like you really wanted this at one stage, and then you become it's normalized that it's a thing that you have, and you're always thinking about something next.
Yeah.
Why is that skill? Like, if you were going to try and say to someone, like, you should make time for this, you should do this because of X, how would you explain that? Well, you go for it.
I don't know. Mine's a little bit more of a woo-woo answer, but
Yeah.
I just think it gets you into that mindset of like what's it called, an abundance mindset, and then you attract that and you continue like following that pathway, and so you attract all the things that you are thinking about, and if you're recognizing how far you come, then you just want to continue on that trajectory.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I think it's just more of a mindset thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about you, Mitty?
I think it's an underlying fault in human beings that things that we adapt to our environment, which is probably a really good thing, but then like if you don't stop and reflect on how bloody amazing it is, that how far you've come, all the things you've done, like particularly if you're ambitious, you just end up like what's next, and like if you carry on to that, like one day next is death. Like that.
Yeah.
I just think that there's some value in reflecting on what you've done because it helps you enjoy and recognize the progress. But I think that then gives you further inspiration to keep doing it. Like looking at the things that I'd done last year, I was like, that's right. Like I can't believe I wanted that at the start of the last year. And now I just, I was like, well, I'm definitely going to do that again this year, because, and I don't know whether writing it down in my diary actually made it happen, but I think it helps.
What's the stronger driver, pain or pleasure?
In rats, it's pain.
Yeah, well, that's like the carrot with the stick, right? I actually don't know. What was it? Was it the
Well,
study?
in rats,
pain?
in rats, it's pain. Yeah, They did the. Do you want to explain this?
No, you go for it. Around the how strong they pull.
Yeah. So they put rats into like a little I don't know, like a little, not a racetrack, but like a little length of corridor sort of thing, and they tied a wee pressure sensor to their tail, and then so they could feel how hard they were pulling against it, and then they'd put like a treat at the end, and they would feel how much pressure, how hard the rat was trying to get towards the treat or the food, and then they'd measure that, and then they wafted in the smell of a predator behind them to see how hard they would pull to try and run away from that.
Yeah.
And so they pulled a lot harder trying to run away.
Yeah.
So like as a driver, and I get it. Like I'm just I'm just trying to push a little bit, but I still you need an element of like things aren't good enough to like create this drive to push any area of your life. If you think about your health, you've got to have a little bit of pain to continue to go healthy. But I do agree with what you're saying though. It's like if you live in that mindset, it's a spiral of down when you just don't enjoy things as much, and nothing ever feels enough or nothing ever feels good enough. And so it's just that balance, I think, the balance of getting that right.
Yeah, I think I always have like a lingering kind of, this is what I don't want. But I think the overwhelming for me is more focusing on the good stuff and where I want to get to, but then enjoying what we've actually done and carrying on in that mindset of like, well, I've already done all of this. So you're just a happier person focusing on what you have rather than what you don't have. Yeah. It's like what you have and then what you get to do because of what you now have. And it's a bit of a mindset shift.
Did you used to set like annual goals with rugby? Like at the start of the year?
Yeah.
Like more like stats, like I want to run this fast, or I want to, or
every now and then there'd be a little bit of stuff around strength and fitness testing and stuff. Never really had any speed type things, but teams and games.
But like what would a goal look like at the start of the year in rugby?
For just a rugby season,
like for you personally, obviously a team's going to be like, our goal this year is to win.
Like selection based stuff usually. Like make this team or be a regular starter on this or do it's that type of stuff. And then there'd be the personal sort of week to week sort of things. What I wanted to get out of a week. I wanted to get to Friday, make sure I've done all this. And
was that helpful, like doing the annual stuff for rugby?
I think so. I think I think it was definitely. I think we all know that if you're shooting for nothing, you'll hit it. And so having some level of focus for everyone is important. With what that looks like, writing it down, visualizing it, vision boards. Just thinking about it every now and then, chatting about it with someone, putting it out there, and saying that this is what you want to achieve. I think it's different for everyone, but knowing what you want, I think, is crucial. knowing what you want, then knowing where you're at, and then how to get there. Yeah. So no, definitely, I've definitely found it helpful.
Yeah.
But once again, like for me, I never. I mean, I would say that Dan Carter was never satisfied with where he was at, and Rich McWooden, they were never satisfied with where they were at as well. And they couldn't have gone any further or higher in that hierarchy of things. I mean, that's a massive generalisation. They probably both really enjoyed the process and the journey and all that sort of stuff. But I guarantee you, there was an element of like, I could be better here. I could have done that differently. I should be more like this in the next game.
Continuous improvement.
Constant, like, it's not good enough. Not good enough.
Yeah.
I think there's a balance, and that's kind of what we talked a little bit before, right? Of recognizing and enjoying the progress that you have made, so that you actually end up enjoying your bloody life.
Yeah.
But then also making sure that you are hitting your potential. Because I reckon that's just as scary, like thinking like, God, I could have done way more if I'd tried, or done this, or like, I think we talk about like, did you do everything you can with the resources you had at the time you had them, and that's always something that haunts us all a little bit at some degree. Me definitely, like, looking back, like, did I do my best?
Yeah, with what you want. Because I think everyone's slightly different,
Exactly.
You have different personalities. I feel like all of us could probably be like, we want more, we want to get here, we want to do everything that we possibly can in our families and in our jobs and but you do have people that are a bit more like, I just want to be happy with my family, which is totally fine, or I just want to focus on my job, or there's lots of different elements.
Maybe they're not mutually exclusive. Maybe the enjoyment comes from pursuing the journey. And I realise that you've got to, like, there's once again, there's a balance here. But without that struggle, without that pursuit of something that you think is meaningful, that you can't actually really get full enjoyment. Like if I think about, because I enjoy the challenge, of what we do. Like there's an element of like, if that was gone and I was just sort of drifting through and I was just meant to be happy with what I have, like, I don't know if I'd have the capacity to enjoy it as much.
Yeah, same.
Again,
everyone's different, but I would be like, I feel like I need to be doing
growing
something. Yeah, learning constantly, being challenged.
You're right, everyone's different.
Jordan Peterson talks about like that responsibility creates meaning. That like having a responsibility to achieve something or do something is kind of what gives people meaning. Obviously, that's paraphrasing it, but like I agree with that.
Yeah.
Like a responsibility is tough, but if you have zero responsibility, it also limits your meaning a lot as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which does make quite a lot of sense, I think.
Have we just gone real deep, hey? We've just gone like deep.
I love it.
Great.
Yeah. An interesting thing you talked a little about, because it's a balance between the destination and the journey. That's probably kind of what you're saying. I just remembered then, like, a really interesting, it was a podcast I was listening to, but he just talked about like, and he used his decades of his life, but he said in his 20s he thought it was about the destination, in his 30s he thought it was about the journey, and in his 40s he realised it was the company that made all the difference. Oh, yeah. And I quite like that, and I just think that, like, maybe a good New Year's resolution should be, around the company that you enjoy, because I think that is a big part of it, like the, maybe a not as enjoyable journey with the right person is actually ends up being better than, a journey that really satisfies you with the wrong person or the wrong people around you.
Yeah. I think it's interesting, those different phases though as well, because even just touching on, I guess if you're going back to the responsibility, probably when you're younger, you probably enjoy your life, but you have barely any responsibility. You can go and travel the world and do whatever you want, and you don't have any responsibility, and you're fulfilled and you're enjoying that journey. But then whether that does change, or some people continue and they love to just travel and that's what they love to do. And so I think the stages are really interesting as well, of like when do you have responsibility and when does that change to then driving towards something else and then the company, or does it? I love these conversations.
Yeah. The company is the journey.
Yeah.
For me though too. It's like you the journey in my mind, and the hashtag journey, hashtag destination. It's like it's taken all the power out of those words. You know what I mean? Because they're real words, they're real things. You know what I mean? They really, really are. But they're sort of so overused and so it's so cliche that it loses the power of what they actually hold. But the journey is the people that you're with. You know what I mean? That's what you're experiencing daily on the journey is so much of that is the people that you're interacting with. I couldn't agree more with that. It's like, yeah, the exact same journey with different people would be completely different.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, I think you're better off trying to find the right people and pursue something than try and pursue something and find, you know, and deal with the people that you're with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. So then, do we have any goals or anything revolutionary? Any resolutions for the coming year? Anything you've thought about? Or obviously we're recording this before the end of the year. I organically sort of find I get one over the Christmas period. That's where my compliments one came from last year. But I definitely have a couple of things lined up. But I'm interested to see if you guys have anything.
Hit us with you first, mate.
I turn 40 this year.
I thought it was 50.
Yeah. Yeah, level 4, as Sophie called it. Level 4. And like, you know, average age of a Kiwi, you know, average lifespan is like 82 years old. So like, it's almost like halfway, 41, you know, and
if you think about it like that,
it's crazy.
it's scary.
Well, you're over halfway in terms of health span too, probably.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So like, I've been thinking about that. And so I've always had this goal and I've never actually, it's weird, but I've always wanted to skydive out of a helicopter. And like, I've just put it off because I've always just had stuff going on. And then I've always in the back of my head been like, I'll do that before I'm 40. And so,
That's next
well,
year.
yeah, I've just been there for ages.
Is it booked in?
It's not booked in. No, I did my course overseas, so I could skydive, but it's been a few years since I've done it, so I've got to go and redo the course.
So you can skydive by yourself?
Yeah, well, it's sort of like, it's like if you haven't, you lose your relevance if you haven't done it enough.
Yeah.
So I've got to go back and redo some of the parts of the course, which is just time and capacity. And then I've got to find someone with a helicopter that'll let me jump out of it.
Why do you want to skydive out of the helicopter?
Do you know what? I like having, sometimes I like having really unreasonable goals that have got nothing other than it's kind of cool.
It's a good story.
Yeah, you know, like I've always wanted like a secret room in my house. Like ever since I was a kid, like I just like it was something else, like secret
Like behind the
passage.
bookcase.
Yeah, like something like that, and it's just like stuck with me, and like it sounds stupid, but like
Feels a bit creepy.
yeah, just on a secret room.
But like when we renovated our house, like I actually put a little secret cupboard in somewhere. You know?
Oh, we got to go find that
We
then.
do.
What, tomorrow?
You'll never find it.
I'm going to look for it.
You can go for your life. You'll never find it. And that was my like sort of like little like
The new deck hides it, eh?
the halfway step, you know. And then I was like, oh, that would be really cool. And so like anyway, where I got to was like that's just perfectly unreasonable. You know, like I think who wants a secret passage? There's no purpose, and like, but like skydive out a helicopter, it was just sort of like almost just like it just sounds so. I don't know why. It just excites me, the idea of doing it. And in my head, I've done it 100 times. You know, I can see exactly what it's going to look like. Yeah.
It must be an unreal feeling skydiving by yourself.
Have you skydived before?
I have, but never by myself. Done quite. Shyla and I actually skydived out of a helicopter.
Did you?
But it was tandem.
Yeah.
In Christchurch.
Oh, really?
So we caught a helicopter at Christchurch Airport,
Mm-hmm.
went across the city to Sumner Beach, and skydived out of a helicopter and landed on Sumner Beach.
Really? I've never seen that.
Unbelievable. I
Was it
couldn't
quite
even
a few
believe
years
it.
ago?
It was.
Yeah, how old was she?
Oh, it must have been about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
His name. Oh, you'll know who he is. It's the company's here.
Yeah, there's no companies in Christchurch anymore.
No.
I think COVID really, like the no tourists really shut down all the skydiving operators.
Yeah, Lee. His name is Lee.
Yeah, I know him. Yeah. I know of him. He used to run out of Queenstown, out of Ashburton, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, skydiving with someone, strapped on your back, you just sort of go for the ride compared to actually you're in control of the whole thing. That's different experiences.
It's just a full, like, for that, like, minute of your life that you're falling, there's nothing else. And you talk about meditation to clear your mind. Like, when you just jump out of a plane at, like, 15,000 feet, there's nothing else you're thinking about.
Yeah.
Like, nothing, not a single thing. It's almost like the purest form of, like,
Yeah.
meditation in some weird ways.
Yeah.
And so...
Yeah, I the first time for me was just like I'm doing this every week. It was just the biggest high ever.
Really?
Yeah, and both my girls. So Miley did when she was like 11 or something. She did did her first one. So I'm just the same sort of thing. But it's just such an amazing thing. I can do with you when Willow's old enough to skydive, and just that seeing when they get to the ground. And they're just like, oh my God, I just jumped out of a plane. It's just like, I can do anything. Like, there's just, what? That's simple. You know what I mean? Like, it's such an amazing thing to do. Yeah. But once again, being able to do it by yourself, that's just, it's actually pretty easy skydiving when you're tandem. You literally just swing, it's like, okay, we're off. And off you go. You know what I mean? And you're just like zero, you're just enjoying it. And it's like, wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
But that sense of like you're in control of it. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So that's now an official one. And I've entered the Ikaroa half marathon as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just that was a new event that came up, and I just thought like,
when's that?
It's in May. So it's like not far after my actual birthday.
Where does it?
You run along, you start up on the hill and you run around like the summit road, then drop down. So it's not actually a heap of elevation. Most of it's at the end. And
downhill.
All of it's downhill, yeah. And then you finish in the park. And there's like little kids runs as well. So hopefully the kids will do like
that's cool. Maybe I should do that.
Join the whole marathon movement, right?
Yeah.
There's a half. Well,
There's like a 10K, a half. There's like a kids, 500 meters. You could do that, maybe.
I'll do that. You guys can run the full, and I'll just
10, then there's a half, then there's a full.
Yeah.
And so I thought that'd be cool next year. So I've already entered that. And then so maybe that skydiving. But then I always got like Sophie in the back of my head with goals. It's like, remember her thing was kind of like it's more like a feeling she's chasing.
Yeah.
And I quite like that rather than I've always been like an event or like yes or no.
I think it's like a mixture of both. Like I feel like because I do the visualization, or what do they call vision boards or whatever, I do those, and that's kind of collating like a feeling, but then it's got things on it that maybe I want to achieve, or not necessarily maybe like an easy tick box thing to achieve, but like a feeling of what I want to see my life look like. And same with like even when we're talking about company, you can't really be like, oh well, you're not going to be like, I want to have 5 good friends by the end of the year. Like it's not really that. It's more like, do my relationships feel good? Are the people around me, does that feel good? And that probably was one of my goals this year, was to just really feel good and connected with all of my relationships. And I feel like I have done that, but that's not like a tick box goal of like, yep, everything's great, because obviously everything's not going to be perfect all the time. But that's definitely like a feeling one, I think, of like, does the people around me and the connections I have feel good? Am I comfortable with that?
It's a funny one, because like, what does the feeling come from? Like I think a feeling of safety comes from lots of actions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of having a place, having a person that you're with, like that you feel really comfortable around, or a feeling of excitement. What does that come from? It comes from things.
It comes from like knowing where you want to go. As Soph talks about the North Star as well, which I think is really powerful. It's like, where do you want to go in it? And that might ultimately be a feeling, but you'll experience that feeling by doing a bunch of things to get you to that feeling.
So I think they're the same thing. Yeah, almost.
It's a little less like, I don't know, textbook or like
tangible.
It's just more like when you're making a decision, there might be decisions that come up within the year that you've not really thought about, but it's just going back to like, well, how do I want to feel, and how does this thing make me feel? Am I going to do it, or am I not going to do it?
Yeah.
So, have you guys got anything for the year?
I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of all tapped out. I feel like I did a lot this year.
Got out.
I don't know. I'm literally like, I need to actually sit down and think about next year. I honestly don't.
Yeah.
Ikaroa half marathon, skydiving daughters.
I want to find the one thing, one thing. I do think there's value in that, because where my mind jumps to with this type of thing is the different buckets in my world. Like my relationship with Laura. There's things that I want us to be able to do this year as things get more busy, and that things get a little bit like more time apart and all that sort of stuff that's going to be happening with traveling a bit more and stuff. Like, what am I going to do with Laura? How am I going to make sure that my relationship with Laura is fantastic through the course of the year? So there'll be something in there around that. Like, the girls. Like I really want to do a trip. That is one thing I have to make happen this year, and it could easily not happen. But like a proper family trip, like I had that on my list actually last year, and that was one thing I did this year. It was just an amazing family trip, and just underestimated how good that was for us as a family. Like 6 months later, we're still reaping the benefits of that. I've had more hugs with my girls in the last 6 months than I've had in the last 3 years. Probably, we just got really tight again. Mm-hmm. I do really want to make that happen. I think I'm going to have a little bit more around health this year. I just feel like the last 6 months I've sort of just let things slip a little bit in terms of my training and food and, recovery and stuff. I haven't floated as much as I usually would, and I've just let myself slip a little bit, and the things I know I need to do to look after myself. So there'll be things in that. But what I do want to find is that sort of one, because I do think there's value in that, and just knowing the one thing that's important. And maybe if it is a one thing, maybe it is a feeling, or maybe it is a specific tangible thing. I'm not too sure yet. But I'm the same as you. It's usually over this Christmas break that a bit of an exhale, and I start sort of reflecting a little bit more and getting a little bit clearer on things. But it'll be family, relationship, personal health, business, friendships, financial. There'll be
I feel like one of the ones that that's just reminded me of, but I feel like it's just such a classic one that everyone wants to say, but have a better morning routine. I always come into work and I'm like, I remember Matthew when you were like, wait, so what do? Do you just roll out of bed and just get ready and come to work? Because I don't have any kids. Like I literally could be sitting at my desk and I woke up like half an hour before, which is not good because it's just not a good way to start the day. So I think getting into a better morning routine, I just need to find, like I go through phases of doing them but then not sticking to them. So I just need to find one that actually works for me. But I think it just takes a bit of trial and error to actually work out what's the best thing.
That's quite a good one though if you think about it, because that can set up a whole heap of different things off the back of it. If you want it, you're trying to, I don't know if it is your personal health or your work or your relationships or whatever it is, if you sort of can curate the morning, you're setting yourself up for the day.
Exactly. And I think like even just it is probably more revolved around health, because it's like going to the gym. That's one thing I did this year. I started going back to the gym, but not super consistent. And it all just depended on, I guess, just how busy you get, and things will pop up in the evenings or whatever. And I'm normally an evening worker-outer. But I think being able to just do it in the morning, get it out of the way, you feel good. You don't have to worry about that. So I think it also comes down to an evening routine as well, because then if I go to bed late or I don't have a good sleep or something, then I don't want to get up and have a good morning routine. So it's kind of like both things. But I feel like a lot of people's New Year's resolutions is to get those two things right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. It does just set up your day and then every day onwards from that. In terms of like eating, working out, and then when you actually go to work, sets everything up nicely.
Yeah, I also think a good reminder is that it doesn't have to be New Year's to like change the focus of what you're trying to do.
I thought you had to wait till Monday or New Year's. Isn't it?
I think, like if it's not like, if something's not working, and you get to the end of January and, you don't want to like get out of it, let yourself away with it. But if it's the wrong thing, then like sticking at it, like you're better to change the focus and, get something right that actually does work for you than continuing on trying to being disappointed in yourself for not doing the thing that you wanted 3 months ago.
I feel like that's ringing. I feel like I said that, and like maybe it was in our last New Year's one, and I was like, be better at just making changes and not just waiting for a Monday or the start of a month or the start of a year. I feel like this year I've been better at that. But it's still like high. It's just so satisfying. Especially there's been quite a few months recently that it's been the first of the month on a Monday, which has just been like that. That feels right.
Yeah, I think it's like like I went through a crazy time when it was like I was really worried that if I stopped doing things that like any things that had gone well would stop happening. Like it was really bizarre. Like I was like, so I just went through like years of just not years, but like I would pretty much never listen to music unless it was the weekend. I only listen to books and podcasts. And it was because like I just thought I've got to get better and learn more business and learn about this and like, and it was just like it just became ridiculous.
Too much structure.
Yeah, it was like I really like music, and like literally I would only put music on if it was a Friday afternoon on the way home or a weekend. I wouldn't listen to music otherwise. It would be a book or a podcast. And it's like it's just ridiculous. Like what a dick, and so like just being like that's not particularly helpful, and like recognizing that it doesn't make a massive difference if you change something small like that,
leaning into the fun of things a little bit more.
Yeah, that was an interesting. It was actually Sophie on a podcast when it was really like one of those things that make your day better. And she was like, I just love putting on a great song. And I was like, that used to be me. I just don't do that anymore. Yeah,
That's funny.
So anyway, morning routine.
Yeah, I need to find something. I want to find one thing. There'll be lots of things. Yeah. But the big one will be
you could work all 148 hours of a week once. You get pretty close sometimes, I think.
Probably already done that.
Yeah.
Well, no.
How many hours are there in a full week? Is that what it is?
148, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
I've said that with real confidence. I really hope that's right. That's pretty close, I think,
Yeah.
Well, your one was it's probably more like practice what you preach, like recovery. Do your floating.
Yeah.
Look after yourself even when things get busy.
Yeah, I think so. And I think this little family trip thing will be the one, because that's got to happen. I've got to make that happen. And I just know that it could slip.
Mm-hmm. Do you know where?
I'm thinking maybe the States.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
But that's the thing. You just have to decide the destination, and then all the girls will get really excited as well, and then it just has to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll figure something out.
Yeah, I think that's the risk of not we talk about what's the value of goal setting. It's like sometimes if you don't, it's really easy just to let things slip.
Yeah, that's it.
And just like all of a sudden, like, oh well, I know there's always lots of reasons why you shouldn't do things. Like go on a trip or jump out of a helicopter or whatever. Like there's always just, especially like when workload is what it is, and kids are all doing different things and families got a lot on. There's lots of reasons why you shouldn't go on holiday.
Yeah, I think that's one thing I've realised as well over this year. It's just been kind of like that. Like there's always a reason, or there's always something that will come up. Like I think in terms of I go back to like the gym or going to hang out with a friend or something like that, it's I'm busy, or no, I need to just finish this thing at work first, and then you kind of push it out and then you don't get the thing done or whatever, and it's like I would tell myself, we're just really busy right now, or I'm just really busy right now, I don't have time to do that. But then the more I did it, I was like, no, this is just life. Life is just always busy, and if I keep telling myself that, I'm not going to actually do the things that I want to do or feel like I need to do elsewhere. And so reminding myself that no, sometimes I just need to yes, there's all these things to do, but I just need to cut it and go and do the thing that I want to do.
Question for you guys would be around because there's obviously these different what do you call it, seasons of life, you know what I mean? And do you think it's reasonable that in some seasons that balance is just completely out of whack?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It just happens.
Yeah. So I think I'm sort of moving into that sort of season.
Have I told you about the dimmers thing? Have I had that conversation with everyone but you? Have I told you about this?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Have I told you?
Dimmers.
Yeah. It's a book. It was called, I think it's called The 5 Types of Wealth. And just to simplify, it talks about having dimmers on different stages of your life.
Oh, yeah.
And so dimmer might be social, there might be one for family, there might be one for professional.
Oh, yeah.
Those 3 dimmers, for example. And depending on what stage you're at, those dimmers can be at different settings. And a dimmer is just a nice way to think about it. It's not on or off. And so
what are the 3 again? So
family,
yeah,
social, and professional.
So they're the only 3 options.
No, I'm just
that's what you could choose other ones.
There's other ones, but so health might be another one, for exple. But if we just it's just easy to understand, because you say in your 20s, for example, depending on what you're doing, but generally family's pretty low. You're out doing your own thing, whatever, focus on yourself. Professional can be pretty low generally, depending on what you're probably different being in rugby, but for me it certainly was. But social was really high. It's just it was Friday, Saturday, going out all weekends. I had no responsibilities. It was just very social, active life. If I look at my life now, family is really high, professional is really high. So social is pretty much, we just never do anything.
Yeah.
We never, a date night is a hard thing for us to organise. And then my parents have just retired, for example, and so professional is now turned off for them. but family and social are really high. Like they're all really active. They're always out doing things and doing this and walking here and fishing there and biking here and caravanning here, and like, so they're really social, always catching up with their mates. And so like the idea of having dimmers on different stages of your life gives you some peace, like now that I'm not very social because I'm working or spending my spare time with the family, gives me some satisfaction that that's okay. Just want permission to do it.
Yeah,
Is that kind of what you're meaning?
Yeah, it is. And because the way my brain works is just constantly seeing the things that I could be doing better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could be a better friend there. I could be going to see my grandma a little bit more. I could have like reached out and done this, or I could have done a bit more traveling with the girls, sort of could have done more work. It's always, I see all the things I could have done better. Whereas, like, I do think I'm moving into this sort of next window, I'd say this next 5 to 10 years of like a real work window for me, and like working on something that is meaningful and that I love and really pushing out and I enjoy it. But I like, what are the things that are going to dim off a little bit, you know? And is it ever reasonable for it to be dim on family? I don't think it's reasonable to be dim on family when you've got kids and stuff as well. But like, how does that look in our family dynamic now with Charlotte being 19 and Miley being 17 and just the changes that happen?
Yeah, it's different with where you're at, because I don't have any kids and stuff. My family is down, but then in my 20s, I'm like, oh, well, I've got all this time to be able to pour into more like work and then social as well. And then as I get older and then we do have kids, those other two will go down, and then family would finally come back up for me.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know. I'm like, what did you say? 5 to 10 years. If you're calling that a season, like that's a really, I would say that's a really long season. Like when I hear people talking about seasons, it'll be like, oh, this next 6 months is a work heavy season, or is just a family focused season, just had a newborn or whatever. It's like, that's the season. And then, whereas I think 5 to 10 years, I'd say is more of like that's just a lifestyle change for like 5 to 10 years. So I think you can't go that long maybe neglecting like your health or one whole other aspect of your life, because that's quite a long period of time to do that.
Yeah, and
that's just my perspective.
That's a good way to think about it, actually. Yeah.
And that's just, that was just framing it into decades, but it could probably break down more inside that. But I think that you do go through you think about the period of time that you can contribute professionally to whatever it is you're trying to do. Like it's not forever.
No.
So you do have a window to try and maximize.
And it's just around, if you do end up having kids, there's those windows that it becomes really difficult, doesn't it?
Yeah, but also like, there's only a small window with them as well.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like you can't, it's hard to have a bright light. What's the opposite of dim? A bright light on work when if you want to be a good dad or a present parent.
Yeah.
It's really quite hard, I think, to have a bright light. And maybe it's not. Maybe I'm saying that wrong.
Well, that's why I like the dimmers are quite nice, because they can be different levels. Like you said, it's not just on or off. It's like when you've got kids that are quite young, like your family the dimmer might be relatively high. But then as they get older and they do spend more time away from you, then it would just decrease a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then, I think it could change. And then when they have children, if you become a granddad, then it would go back up again or
that's
whatever.
Why I'm thinking 5 to 10 years. That's
you're like, just got to smash it.
Because I think like I want to be a really present grandparent.
Yeah.
I just really I want to be like,
5 to 10 years.
I mean, it could be next year if the shot is like me and Laura. That'll be like next year I'll be granddad. But the most chance I can see myself as having less sort of family responsibilities. I'm never going to disappear, obviously, but less family. Like they're driving, they've just they're on their own.
Well, you think about their window. Their window is going to be really high social.
Exactly.
And probably maybe professional as well.
Yeah.
As family.
Your family does just go down for them as well, because it's just
of course.
Now once you move out of home, you still stay in touch, but it's just nowhere near as much, and you get busy with work and friends and
All right, one tip for goal setting. Someone's listening to this going.
Well, I think that from this is just keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
Like one sentence, no more than 3 at least.
Yeah.
For me, it would be like take the time to do it. I know that sounds silly as well, but it's like anything, that the things that are often really easy to do become really hard to do because it's so simple. I mean, how many times will we have talked about or thought about, the importance of, knowing what you want to achieve in life or knowing where you want to go, and people will understand that, but like taking the time to actually carve out 30 minutes in a day, in a week, somewhere to really reflect on where you're at, think about where you want to go, and then do something towards formalizing that. And as I mentioned, it doesn't mean you have to write down 3 goals. It doesn't mean you have to, but like figure it out, because I think all of us just stumble through too often, me included, without a bit aimless.
Yeah, I get it.
Find your direction.
What about you, mate?
Do something unreasonably fun. I reckon, like the helicopter thing. I really have to do it now because I've said it on here.
Yeah.
Like, other than you guys, Sally is the only one that's really known. So I think like you should have something that's just like a little bit unreasonable, but for no other reason than like it would just be epic. Might not be a secret passage or a skydiving, whatever it is, but like everyone's still got that little part of that child in them that's got that something, and like maybe this is the year that you just like, fuck it.
I do love that. I do love that, because if when you reflect back on just things, the things that highlight more than anything, I think, are just those unreasonably fun or epic little moments that have popped in. Some of them were intentional, some of them were just spontaneous and out of nowhere, but that's, when you look back, and we all want to look back and, be happy with the life that we've lived. I think, you stack those up over time, And then once again, I know life is a lot more meaningful than just these little moments of skydiving and the helicopter, but those things there can just, they can, as you mentioned, unreasonably big needle movers.
The fun, memorable stuff.
Yeah.
Gives a good story to tell when you're 80 and have grandchildren. And
There's 1,000 reasons why you shouldn't do a secret passage or go skydiving, but like there's one really good one why you should. So
I'm just going to disappear during our Christmas party now because I want to go find this secret passage.
You'll never find it.
We'll see.
Never find it.
We'll see.
And I don't show anyone either. Not even the kids know where it is, because if you tell a 5-year-old where a secret passage is, it's no longer a secret passage. It's not a secret passage. It's tiny, but it's secret.
I'm going to get his plans, his house plans, the renovation plans. There it is.
Got it left off the plans as well. Yeah, even the bill. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's full secret. I just don't have anything to keep in there. That's a disappointing thing. Like, what's in there? It's like, like passports.
Yeah, I was going to say your passport.
It's not even cool.
Does Sally know where it is?
Yeah, Sally knows where it is. Yeah. But I don't have anything cool. It's not like I've got those are they're my passports. They're not like my fraudulent passports. They're not a secret agent. There's not like weapons and things in there. But
I think I've found my New Year's resolution.
Find my secret passport. Good luck. Happy New Year. Thanks so much for listening to another episode of the OStudio podcast. If you enjoyed it, please hit the follow button wherever you're listening, and connect with us on social media at OStudio Global. Our purpose at OStudio is to make recovery and well-being as accepted, as understood, and as practiced as physical fitness. To achieve this, we're building premium wellness hubs around New Zealand and Australia, where communities come together to sauna, ice bath, float, recover, and so much more, all in beautiful spaces designed for everyday people. Check out ostudio.co.nz to find a studio near you, or explore how you could bring OStudio to your community. Own the moment.